Hey everyone, it's Mark. I'm guessing you guys have seen a few videos like this already, but this is my entry for the Who Wants to Journey 2021 Tag Challenge. Big shout out to Crasher for creating this tag challenge, as well as InfamousTrainer for helping shape the concept and the logo. I've also got to shout out Gooey448 for tagging me in this challenge, and stick around for the end when I will be tagging 5 people myself. I'll link Crasher's original video in the description if you want to hear the full rules for this challenge, but the general idea is that this video is outlining what I would do if I was a character in the Pokemon anime. As I go through this video, I'll explain the rest of the details of this challenge as I go. Make sure you leave a like and hit the subscribe button, and let's get started. So usually people start by introducing and explaining their team of Pokemon, but I want to give a little context first. Let's start with a little bit of my backstory in the anime. Specifically, let's address what my profession will be. Think about Univa's Dark-type Elite Four member, Grimsley. Alright, so this may sound a little abnormal, but if I were a character in the anime, I would be training to be Grimsley's apprentice. You know, kind of like in the anime when Pokemon gyms have different trainers that learn there from the gym leader, that's kind of what I have in mind. I'll explain more about this later, but for now, it's important to know that I want Grimsley to be my mentor, since I kinda look up to him. So with that quick explanation out of the way, let's dive into the Pokemon I would have with me on this journey. Now, there are some rules for this part that I have to follow. Number 1, you can only have 1 starter maximum. Number 2, you can only have 1 pseudo-legendary Pokemon on your team. Number 3, you cannot have any legendary or mythical Pokemon on your team. And number 4, you are allowed to have up to 3 additional Pokemon to rotate. Straight off the bat, I can already say that I don't have any starter Pokemon on my team, and I'm going to keep it to just 6 Pokemon, so don't worry about any Pokemon that I would keep in rotation. Me personally, I prefer it when characters in the anime keep their team to 6 Pokemon or less, so it would be hypocritical of me to go beyond that for this video. The first Pokemon on my team would be Drapion. I guess I should mention that I kind of planned this out based on if I were to have a 6v6 full battle with this team, but whatever the case, I think Drapion is a fantastic Pokemon to begin any battle with. Whenever I use Drapion in the games, I love setting up toxic spikes at the start of the battle, and I can usually get 2 layers of toxic spikes down since Drapion is kind of a beefy Pokemon. Its typing makes it so that unless the other trainer leads with something that knows Earth Power or Earthquake, it's probably going to take a few hits to knock Drapion out. Additionally, remember when Paul sent out a Drapion in his battle against Ash at the Sinnoh League? That thing was an absolute tank and wrecked nearly half of Ash's team. Alright, I think I've explained why Drapion is such a solid first choice. The second Pokemon in my lineup would be Toxicroak. Now hold on, you might be thinking, I thought you said that you wanted to be Grimsley's apprentice, so why is your team poison types and not dark types? Well, here's where things get tricky. My second Pokemon is actually not Toxicroak, but instead, a Zoroark. My strategy here is to get people to think I'm a poison type trainer by sending out multiple poison types and setting up toxic spikes, and ideally they would use a psychic type attack against Toxicroak. That's when Zoroark's illusion ability comes into play and it takes no damage from a psychic type attack. I guess it's not exactly the most fair thing in the world for a dark type specialist to use non-dark types, but, well, like another wise dark type user once said, do you really think a dark type Pokemon user cares about being fair? Speaking of which, one of my Zoroark strategies will be to spam the move Snarl in order to lower my opponent's special attack. And to balance out my anti-special attack strategy, my next Pokemon is Obstagoon. If my opponent switches from special to physical attacks in order to defeat Zoroark, then in comes Obstagoon with its Obstruct tactic. Additionally, Obstagoon is such a cool Pokemon. It's Piers' ace in Sword and Shield, it looks amazing, and it can have a really diverse moveset. The next Pokemon on my team is pretty straightforward. Since I look up to Grimsley, it's no surprise that I would have his ace Pokemon Bisharp as a part of my team. And I mean, regardless of Grimsley's relevance to my character here, in general, I just think Bisharp is one of the coolest looking Pokemon around. And remember when Alon's Bisharp was low-key his second strongest Pokemon in the Kalos League finals? I don't think my Bisharp would ever be as strong as Grimsley's is, but hey, I'm the student and he's the teacher, so that's only fair. Even though I'm not using any starters or rotating any members of my team, I am taking advantage of the 1 pseudo-legendary rule, and although I considered using Hydreigon, I ended up picking Tyranitar. And if you remember the thumbnail of this video, this is actually going to be a Mega Tyranitar, which I guess makes this my very own ace Pokemon. I actually used a Mega Tyranitar when I first played through Pokemon Ultra Sun, and it was pretty cool. I remember the first time I battled Ultra Necrozma, I went in completely blind and had a way easier time than most people did. I managed to defeat it in just 3 turns, and part of that was my Tyranitar landing a super effective crunch attack on it. Tyranitar is also a good pick for my team because one of its weaknesses is water, but if I get the sense that my opponent is about to use Surf against me, that's when I switch in my actual Toxicroak since its ability would be Dry Skin, which makes it absorb health when hit by a water type attack. So that's my full team of 6. pretty tricky for a dark type team, and alright, even though Toxicroak isn't technically dark type, it can still learn moves like Sucker Punch and Dark Pulse, and villainous trainers like Saturn and Ghetsis have it on their teams. So that's dark enough, right? Up next, let's dive a little deeper into my character's backstory, starting with what region I'm from. And I mean, come on, isn't it obvious? I use Hilbert as my avatar, Grimsley is my role model, and my location on Twitter is Driftvale City. I'm obviously from Unova, and more specifically, I grew up in Driftvale City. I watched the Cold Storage, turned into the Pokemon World Tournament, and I got to watch all kinds of great battles there. This is where people usually give their profession, but I already touched on that a little bit, so just to recap, I'm a trainer who wants to become Grimsley's apprentice, and ultimately I would like to be some kind of Dark-type gym leader or Elite Four member. So I want to be in the Elite Four, but I'm just a trainer. You could say that I'm an Elite Trainer. Ooh, I like the sound of that. Okay, so what specifically would my goals be? I've been kind of vague about this relationship I have with Grimsley, so let me spell it out a little more clearly. If I were in the anime, I would still be an up-and-coming trainer. I wouldn't be all buddy-buddy with Grimsley from the start, but rather, that would be something I'm working towards. First, getting recognized by Grimsley, and then ideally becoming his apprentice or something like that. I think this would be especially funny since Grimsley doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who wants to mentor someone, so I'm sure that would make for some funny episodes of me fanboying over him and trying to earn his respect. To get there though, I'm not just traveling around searching for Grimsley, that would be straightforward and boring. Instead, my journey would involve either me challenging the Unova gyms or the World Coronation Series. Ultimately, I could meet Grimsley in battle either as a part of the Unova League after I earn 8 badges, or maybe he could be an Ultra Class trainer that I battle in the World Coronation Series. When I do get to meet Grimsley, my goal would be, like I said before, for him to take me under his wing. Originally, when I was brainstorming ideas for this, I considered just flat out replacing Grimsley since he was last seen in Alola with little to no explanation, so maybe someone was back in Unova filling in for him. Maybe later in this hypothetical series of the anime, after Grimsley has accepted me as his apprentice, I could temporarily take his position as Elite Four member when he goes out on his travels to other regions. I think that would make for an interesting perspective that we've never really gotten in the anime. What's it like to be an Elite Four member, like, beyond just 1 or 2 days? I realize this may sound weird and it's definitely an atypical goal, but I did just want to make my goal become Pokemon Champion or win the World Coronation Series, so I tried to spice it up with something totally original. The last part of my journey that I have to talk about is who are my rivals and or companions. Well, if we were continuing to follow the fact that I'm basically Hilbert from Black and White, we could throw Hilda, Sharon, and Bianca into the mix. Or how about Nate, Rosa, or Hugh? Well, I don't really think any of those guys would be my companions. Actually, I don't know if I would have any permanent companions. I am a Dark-type trainer after all, I'm kind of a loner, and I have my Pokemon to keep me company. Of course, there would be some characters that are very regularly occurring, but I don't think I'd travel with a group of people like, say, Ash would. As for rivals, I think Grimsley is kind of like a pseudo-rival as I look to gain his respect, and I guess in a way, he could kind of become like a companion later on in this hypothetical series. I also think Rosa would make a good rival for me since she seems to have a lot of appeal to a lot of fans, and I always think female rivals are underrepresented in the anime. Her bright and cheery personality would clash well with my, well, dark nature. I also think the Shadow Triad should play into this somehow. I don't know the timeline for when this is taking place, I haven't thought that much about this fictional world I live in, but maybe it's a world where the Shadow Triad are not caught up in doing Team Plasma's bidding anymore. They could have some kind of fascination with me since they are also mysterious figures who tend to use Dark-type Pokemon, and I mean, it's kind of a shame that they were never in the anime at all. Who doesn't like teleporting ninjas? So that's what my journey would look like in the anime. I would travel around Unova with this team and make a name for myself, just like I explained. Of course, I would catch all of these Pokemon in their unevolved state, so they would each get their own character development and growth narratives, unlike Ash's Journeys team. The only thing left to do here is tag 5 more people to do this challenge, so pay close attention. If your name is in this list, you better be ready to journey. Also, I apologize if I name any repeats here. I don't know everyone that has already been tagged or already made a video. In fact, I may have already missed some other people that tagged me. I just tried my best to find people that hadn't been tagged yet, or at least I don't think they've been tagged yet, so here goes nothing. First person that I'll tag is Luup. He does Pokemon anime episode reviews, predictions, as well as some other unique videos. Next is PokeTuber Squad. I don't know a whole lot about this person other than that they make Pokemon anime content and they follow me on Twitter, so that's enough for me. Next I gotta do ZSmash26 Gaming. He doesn't make a ton of Pokemon related content, but I think he could come up with a creative journey for himself. And the last 2 people I'm going to tag also review the Pokemon Journeys anime like I do, and they are around a similar sub count to me, so go check out Danny Luxray and Mitchell Mander, and subscribe to them so you don't miss their Who Wants to Journeys tag challenge video if and when they post it. Good luck to all the people that I've challenged. I can't wait to check out your videos, and once again, thank you to Gooey448 for tagging me, as well as Crasher and Infamous once again for creating this tag challenge. If anyone else besides Gooey tagged me, I apologize for not shouting you out in this video. You should have tagged me like Gooey did, because that's how I noticed his video. Anyways, I had a lot of fun doing this challenge, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video as well. If you did, go ahead and hit like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you think about my team as well as my hypothetical journey down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.